What's up, everyone?
What's up, YouTube? My Cowboys family, bringing you guys another update on the Cowboys during this training camp. Give us just another minute while we get all set up here.
Making sure the audio's good. What's up, everyone?
YouTube? My Cowboys
Guess what?
family,
Audio's
bringing
good.
You guys another update on the Cowboys
Good deal, guys. We're continuously improving the microphone. Hopefully, one day soon we'll improve the video. But for now, we're glad you're with us here, hanging, watching, you know, the usual. As we get set up here, first couple of minutes. Hey, David Pence, what's up?
What's up, David?
Chris?
What's up, Chris? How you guys
What's
doing?
up? Glad to see you guys on here.
Like we said, give us just one more minute while we finish setting up here.
Yep, we're just setting up, and just wanted to say a couple of things, guys. We appreciate all the help and all the watches and the views you guys come out here and watch us. We're gonna go over a lot of the training camp update stuff. The news from the day at camp, and as well as the Ezekiel Elliott, you know, updated information about his appeal, which is good news. But we won't know all that stuff until the end of the month. Yeah. So you know, we'll talk about that in a minute.
So all right, so I mean,
what do you want to start off with, guys?
So I mean, we can just jump.
Yeah, I know. I love that camera that Shango has. I mean, I wonder how much that cost.
but I wish he would say what camera it is. I don't know if he's mentioned it in any of his videos before. At least if he has, I haven't caught it. But if you guys know,
if you guys know, let us know. And also, we never actually said this, but we have a Patreon account. I don't know much Patreon account. I don't know much about that. And guys, listen, we know it's, you know, we're not here to really make money. We're just here to try to improve our stuff. So if you guys want to kind of contribute through there, that's awesome. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that would definitely go towards
improving
the quality of the streams.
Yeah, so. Microphone, video, the cameras, all that stuff. You know, we really try to get all the information to you guys, and so we know it ourselves too. So we might as well let the world know what we know. You know, and we're not saying we know everything, for sure, but we just, you know, we definitely like
to. This is just our take on it.
Yeah, we want to definitely do in-depth research though on our entire roster. We focus on the Cowboys. So if you love the Cowboys, then this is the place to be. So we'll kick it off. First off, guys, non-Cowboy news for 1 second. Lucky Whitehead, you guys remember him? I'm sure you heard already. Jets, he's a Jets player now. They picked him up. Lucky's not so lucky. Today,
broke his ankle. Yeah,
he broke his ankle at Jets camp. It sucks for him. We feel bad for him in that sense, but you know, it's just unfortunate for Lucky. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to get there, you know, especially with the way he's played in Dallas for all these years, and then this injury, it's just going to delay him more, and he's just never going to produce the way people hoped he would. So unfortunately for Lucky, he's been unlucky, and we wish him the best, but you know, it sucks.
So Boomer Sooner, Jalen Smith will play Saturday against the Colts.
We're coming up with that. Yeah, luckiest ever.
Yeah.
Unluckiest lucky ever.
But that's a good place to start off at, I think, for now. So we do have a few comments. Yep, we do have a few comments from Cowboys camp, just kind of confirming some players that will be out on the field. So Dak himself has spoken to the press, and he said he will also be playing.
Now, when we say on the field and playing, we don't mean just practice, guys.
Yeah.
And I know it's a practice game, but we're talking about actually seeing him against competition. So we're going to see Dak. He's confirmed he's going to play. He might only play one drive or one series.
But he will definitely have some kind of play time. Jalen Smith as well.
Definitely,
he's
definitely
how long
playing.
He'll play.
Jalen Smith's going to definitely play.
Be out there.
And you can bet that the fact that they've been working him so hard, like today they worked him at middle linebacker, guys.
With the first team.
Correct. With the first team, which is just getting ready. They're getting him ready out there to get him some playing time, some hitting time. They don't want to rush him back. And again, like you said, we don't know how he's going to be in a pitch count. He'll probably be that way during the season on a certain level of an amount of snaps he's going to play.
Exactly.
But maybe by mid-season, you might see him more full-time. We are hoping to see that, you know. But at the same time, at least we're going to see a little bit of Mr. Jalen Smith this weekend against the Colts. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us here, too. We'll be live streaming. Hey, how about them Cowboys?
Right. So what's up? How about them Cowboys? How you doing?
Check out his site if you haven't already. Now, Tyron Smith. He was at practice yesterday. No word really today, but he was at practice. He was not one of the guys that missed practice today. Tyron Smith was there. Now, he probably won't play in the preseason games. They were working Chaz Green at Tyron Smith's position at the left guard. Doesn't bode well for whoever's going to play left guard because they need as much help as possible. But I will say that Chaz Green looked decent today, and he'll be out there probably in the game day. If he's out there, that means Dak's going to play. So remember, guys, they cannot have Tyron Smith.
Yeah,
they cannot not have him out there.
And they're not going to risk putting Dak behind anyone other than Tyron Smith or anyone who can't do the job that Tyron Smith can do, which is very few. Just
Blind
because, again,
side,
they're not,
guys.
yeah, I mean, guys, we saw it last year happen with Tony Romo. They're not going to take any chances when it comes to Dak.
That's
so,
right.
You know, and again, you know, Tyron Smith, they did say that he wasn't going to play in any preseason game at all. We weren't even expecting him until week 1, possibly.
Yeah.
So, you know, to see him back out on the field, to see him, you know, obviously in practice, things like that, you know, makes me wonder if the Zeke decision didn't have any bearing on the fact that he is back out there now and they're not holding him off because they do want Dak to get the practice and they want the rest of the team to get the practice.
But we definitely, as a team on a whole, our offense has to show a little bit more than they have been showing in preseason. Granted, guys, it's been only 2 games. We have 5 this preseason, and we're taking it extra easy because, you know, we have the extra week. So really, this is really our second preseason game, and this is usually when the starters come and play at least a series or 2. So, you know, we definitely it's about that time to get most of the starters out there on the field hitting against opponents, real opponents.
So, and I see a few of you guys, Boomer Sooner, Freddie Dominguez.
We know
Rico did get hurt today.
He had a concussion against Kevon Frazier towards the end of practice. They hit helmet to helmet, unfortunately, and I guess Rico somehow. I don't know how this happened to Rico. I guess he just hit the wrong spot. But he obviously got knocked out a little bit, a little woozy when he got up. And, you know, he got taken in for a concussion. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect him for playing against the Colts on Saturday. It might affect him because when they go to concussion protocol, usually NFL requires a couple days and nothing going on. And now with no practice, will he be ready for Saturday? I don't know. Either way, though, guys, don't lose hope on that.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
He'll recover. I definitely.
But they're gonna take it easy.
Yeah. So obviously, as long as he's doing all right. So
that's first and foremost. We want to see him do it all right. But again, we would love to see him out there in the field. If he's okay, usually it could take a day or 2, or maybe a day, or maybe 3 days or 4 days. But if there's enough time for him to get okay, I think you'll see him on the field. But they're not gonna, you know, if he's perfectly fine from his concussion, then he'll be back in the game. If not, no chances taken. Obviously, we don't want to have something else. Another concussion, he'll be out longer.
So guys, and on the bright side, guys, at least it wasn't another hamstring injury.
Yeah, which I'll get. Let me get to the injuries, guys.
Yeah.
So first off, today, these guys were not at practice today. Like they were at practice, but they weren't padded up. They weren't out there hitting in team practice drills. So the guys that were out, Sean Lee, number 50, of course, our leader on defense, hamstring. Just taking it easy with him, with an older player, a veteran like him who's had injury issues in the past. They're just taking it easy with him. He probably won't play, especially with Jalen Smith practicing at middle linebacker first team. I think you'll see Jalen Smith out there a lot more this game, a lot more. You know, this game than you would have probably regularly have seen him because of Sean Lee's injury. We have Chidobe Awuzie. Unfortunately,
dealing with that hamstring and ankle injury that's still lingering,
and that's that's too bad because we want to see him out there as much as possible. I think it's just all precautionary, guys. He'll probably miss this game, is my guess, this weekend. But hopefully, you know, rest him up for after the weekend and then get him back on practice, and then he'll be playing our 4th game of the preseason.
So what's up, DC4L? How you doing?
Hey, thank you for subscribing. Brother, I appreciate it. Anybody else who hasn't subscribed yet, please do. If you haven't liked,
hit like and subscribe down at the video below, and make sure to hit the little bell so you don't miss any notifications on when we go live or when we post a video.
there's like 13 or 14 of you guys out there. Hit like for us. You know, we're gonna give you all the information here, continuously give you this information here, updated as much as up to the minute, really. So let's see. Luke McCown, our fourth string quarterback, a veteran guy. You know, he wasn't in practice. Probably just a veteran rest day. He did play some on Saturday, so, you know, he's old.
Yeah, there's no reports as to him
being injured or
anything. He just wasn't at practice.
But again, guys, he's not going to make the team. Not with Connor Rush's performance. You know, it's just kind of that. It's more of now between Connor Rush and he's chasing more for that second spot. More than McCown. McCown's just a camp body really for the preseason. Now Cedric Thornton, he was also out with a hamstring. You know, he's gonna make the team, but he's fighting to just get some playing time because Stephen Paya, who's also been injured by the way, but he was out there, and Malik Collins, they're probably gonna be the starters to start off the season. So we shall see.
Yeah, just to comment on Paya's injury, it looks like he just, you know, bumps and bruises in general, a swollen knee. Yeah. So it looks like he just needs some rest, and he should be all right.
Right. He was out there, you know, practicing. So was Benson Mayowa, who also had a swollen knee earlier last week. The beginning of this week, he actually was still kind of held out, but then they put him in yesterday, early in the week. I guess yesterday they had him in there, and so he was playing. He looked good. I will say he has that speed, and I'm telling you, I think Benson Mayowa, number 93, who was our sack leader last season, he's an important piece to our starting defensive end puzzle, because I do think that you're going to see him a lot in the beginning of the season as they work Taco into the rotation, to the lineup.
Hopefully we'll be seeing him a lot more sacking the quarterback.
Yes,
yes. Which is the hope.
Now, and then the other guy that's gone from camp, from practice today was David Irving. His ankle, I think it's just a precautionary thing. Guys, we saw him in the game. He looked fantastic in that game. They're just holding him out. And again, remember, he's suspended for 4 games. So, you know, I mean, whatever it is, he's gonna get out there. He might. I would be surprised if he's not playing against the Colts. But these are just precautionary. Most of these are just precautionary injuries. Now, with Anthony Brown, he was out there with the first team defense. Number 30. He got injured 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals, if you guys remember. He was out there in the morning walkthroughs, doing good. But in the afternoon team practice, he was not there. Neither was Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis was with Anthony Brown in the late practice, in the afternoon practice. They were both doing resistance drills. They were not doing any team drills, no hitting, which means that they were just kind of still working through those injuries, their hamstring injuries, the ankle injury, whatever it is that they have. They're just working through it. But again, it's all just a slow progression. I really hope to see number 27, Jordan Lewis, out in the field this weekend. I hope so. I mean, I know they're taking it slow with him, but I really want to. He's one of those guys I want to see out there. I want to see what he can do, because I've heard a lot of good things, and I would really like to see him out there.
I agree. And again, it stinks that an unfortunate injury has kept him from really shining, but we want to see what he's made of.
Yeah. And as you already mentioned, Dak in his press conference said he will play this week, even if it's a short time. He just wants to get out there. It's going to be I think it's a Cowboys home game, AT&T Stadium. So he was happy to have at least that first game he's back, for the start of the year. It's going to be at home. So now let's see. This morning, by the way, guys, we picked up 5 new players. These guys are just going to be camp bodies. They basically came in to replace. One guy was picked up. His name was MJ McFarland, and he was picked up. He's a tight end to replace Hamlet's injury on that last play of the game.
4th string tight end that
broke his ankle
on the last play of the game.
Yeah, so that's just another camp body, guys. And the other guys were like cornerbacks, just more depth, but just guys just to throw in there, see how they do, just take some reps away from our guys that we don't want to get injured, and or even take a chance with getting more injured, especially when we go deeper to the second team, the third team. A lot of these guys on our defense in general, including linebackers, including defensive backs, as we know, our defensive front, it's going to be a large rotational situation there with Marinelli running that defense. So don't put too much stock in who's starting. We know Sean Lee's going to be out there. Byron Jones is going to be out there. Some of these main guys will be out there, but it's going to be a lot of alternating, rotating around with players.
And it really depends on the defensive package, so to speak, that they do want to put out there, because depending on the team, the situation, how the offense looks, he's going to have certain guys there. Right. And just because one guy might be particularly the best at that spot consistently, he might, another guy might have better skills in a different scenario. So, that's why the Cowboys like to move guys around and,
Yeah. Now, before we get into more of the Zeke stuff, and actually, any Eagle fans out there? I don't think we have any Eagle fans out there yet.
No, not yet, unless they're hiding. But let's touch on a few of the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on the comments. I just want to say real quick, and I'll say it later if another Eagle fan jumps on, but I just wanted to update the Eagle fans. Ryan Matthews, your guys basically starting running back last season, more or less, has been cut. Yeah, he's been released. He's been waived. So just letting you guys know. Before you guys ask, no, we're not going to pick up Ryan Matthews. He's not that good. I don't believe. The Eagles have fans. I know. I agree, Chris. But no, I mean, that's the thing is that he was their starter last year with Sproles, and they had a mixture of guys back there. But you know what? They let him go. They have Blunt. They have Sproles. I know they have another guy. So the point is that they didn't really need him. I guess he was also probably a cap casualty in a way. So when an Eagle fan starts talking trash or whatever, we just remind them about Ryan Matthews, who's gone. A lot of guys, Eagle fans, will tell you that they love him. So let's see how much they love him now that he's gone. And then we'll talk about Zeke in a minute. Let's get some of your questions, definitely. Go ahead.
Let's see. So Freddie Dominguez said, "Go Cowboys! I really like Rush."
Me too. We watch our live stream from Saturday and from the Arizona game. We've been saying ever since I've seen this guy, he looks like a quarterback that is on a mission, and he looks like a real solid quarterback.
And again,
for the future,
he's shown us flashes of something more, something that Kellen Moore doesn't seem to have. Whatever it is,
well, I'll tell you one thing. It's his size, how big he is. He's tall. True. He's strong. He stands in the pocket. These are things that Kellen Moore, he scoots around. Okay, that's good, but he usually can't. He's left-handed, and not that anything's wrong with that, but he doesn't have that fluid passing, the consistency. the arm strength or the height, or just so.
Yeah. So I never had confidence in him. I want to comment specifically on the arm strength because I always say that a lot of his passes look very floaty or just like soft and just not. It's not the same power behind it, and you can see it visually while you're watching him make the passes. Yeah. So,
I can see it from the beginning, in my opinion. Now, Jordan Lewis, we said is he going to play. I hope so. Again, he was still working on the resistance drills today with Anthony Brown, number 30.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time before Saturday, right, so we don't want to say yes or no either way.
I can tell you that
it is somewhat more unlikely that he plays this Saturday.
Well, unlikely. It depends. We'll know more towards the week. The reason I say this is because I know the Cowboys staff they have to get him out in that field. There's 2 games passed, and he hasn't been out there yet. They have to get him on the field. And we know he's going to make the team, but we need him on the field. I think the coaches want him on the field. And again, some of these guys are being a little cautious with, but now we're entering our 3rd game.
Where we can't afford to be cautious with some of the guys that we have to see.
We have to take a chance with some of these guys, in my opinion. So we shall see with that. You're offending McCown. He will beat out more. I hope. Hey, how about them Cowboys? I hope that he'll beat out more. In the sense of, I think I'd rather take Cooper Rush as our 3rd quarterback and then get a good, solid like Kaepernick as our backup. It's not going to happen. My hopes are dashed when it comes to that. And I don't that I think Kaepernick's so good. I just think, and if you haven't heard me say this already, he fits our system much better than any quarterback I think that's out there, any quarterback that's on our team, except for, of course, Dak. So I think he'd be a great backup. It might be worth paying the extra money for, and the controversy. But guys, we're not going to get into that whole thing about kneeling and all that stuff. Is his First Amendment right? And that's all I'm going to say about that. Is his right? And he can do that. There's no law in the NFL that you can't do that. So who knows with Roger Goodell, though? He might suspend people left and right because he had a bad day. It's a joke. It's a joke. So let's see what else we got. Read me a Boomer Sooner.
What is our record prediction? So specifically for the Cowboys, DC 4L.
DC. Okay, let's see. What's our? Well, we did a video earlier. Well, you can say.
So we did post our earlier kind of preseason Cowboys.
This is before we knew about Zeke. But.
Yeah. So we had said that we thought they could go 12-4, 11-5 was more realistic. 10-6 was more of a
bad season.
Yeah, like a rough.
A rougher season.
So I think we are looking closer possibly to 10-6, depending on how the Cowboys do with the Zeke suspension. If Zeke is still there, if Zeke...
That could cost us a game.
If Zeke
I don't think it's going to cost us more than the game. I just don't think it's going to cost us more than the game with Zeke or whatever happens with Zeke. It's going to be one of those...
And again, I agree, but the thing is that we can't really be sure. If with Zeke in, we still said 10-6 was somehow a possibility, then I still think that, without Zeke... Definitely not 12-4. That's for sure. 11-5, definitely possible. 10-6, hard but definitely doable. I don't even want to say anything worse than that because I would be extremely disappointed. And I think that it's a testament to our offensive line that we would have as many. As we do.
I do believe that before the Zeke thing that came down the ruling, I was saying 11-5, 12-4 at best, 10-6 possibility if we have a bad season, so to speak.
If Zeke plays the whole season, I still say easily 12-4, 11.
No, not easily. Not easily 12-4. Because again, guys, remember something, all Cowboy fans out there, remember we have a very tough schedule. And we might be one of the best teams this season, but we have a very tough schedule. There's no way we can avoid that. Because the tough schedule, we're going to win some of the tough games, we're going to lose some of the tough games. We've got to be real about this. So, honestly, 11-5 sounds more realistic to me with Zeke. Without Zeke, I'm still looking at the same thing. Now, we might get the extra loss without Zeke. Let's just assume like one of these first 6 games, if he's out that long, expect a 4-2 or 3-3 start, which is not something we really want. But again, you got to think about it. If we start off 3-3, and how are we going to be 12-4? We're not going to win. We're not going to lose one more game the rest of the season.
Exactly.
Even though I know we did it last year.
What's up, Rack City? How you doing, Lorraine?
Rack City.
Nice to see you back out here.
Boomer Sooner, Lorraine Elliott.
I see a few new names. So, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. We do post daily videos, daily
hit the bell.
Live streams. Yep. So make sure to catch us on there.
So let's see another one here. Let's see. I'm just going from the top. I just remind Eagles about DeMarco Murray. He didn't fit. Chris Sr., he did not fit. DeMarco Murray never fit the Eagles system with Chip Kelly. I knew it from the moment they let him go and the moment the Eagles got him. They were celebrating like they won the Super Bowl. And not that he stinks, because he doesn't. Because look how he's doing with the Titans. But with the Eagles team, he stunk. And it wasn't him. It was the offense they ran. It was the Eagles. Now, let's see here. Kellen Moore throw a pass, a first down marker. I know. He's just a dip and dunk kind of guy. Jerry Jones, he's going for this win. He's going against the commissioner, against all the owners.
I agree. I think it's time for our Patriots moment.
Yeah, it's time. Now, let's see here. I know, I agree, Chris, that Jerry Jones would never really would never go for Kaepernick. He's already said he would never accept that. And even today, Dez, speaking on the controversy of kneeling, they asked Dez Bryant about that at the end of practice today.
Yeah, and he just said, look, guys, I don't want to get involved in that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And people criticize him for that.
Yeah.
The truth is, listen, guys, just like it's Kaepernick's right to do it, it's also these guys' right not to do it.
Exactly.
If they want to stand, they want to stand.
Yeah, he responded back on Twitter saying, man, don't judge me for it. I got to eat too. At the end of the day, people can choose, he says that doesn't mean I don't support the cause. People can hold their own personal beliefs and not be forced to share them on a public platform if they don't want to.
Or
just because they're famous celebrities doesn't mean they don't. Yeah,
or like Kaepernick, or like Marshawn Lynch, or like the Bennett brothers. Hey, you know what? They want to do it. Listen. That's their choice, and if you don't like it, that's fine. Don't buy their jerseys, don't watch the games. But it is their right, and it's not illegal in the Constitution.
Exactly.
And it's not also illegal in the NFL rules, bylaws, by the way. So NFL cannot force them or invalidate their contract. That's silly. That's a violation of their First Amendment rights. And yes, some jobs you might have to do those things, but NFL jobs you don't have to. Just making that clear, guys, just so you know. Anybody who's not sure about that, just so you know. But one day there might be a Cowboy that sits and does not stand for the national anthem. You know what? Unless you stand for every single time in your living rooms for the national anthem for every game, then you can't talk. And also, one last thing. I think this started in 2009, if I recall correctly, about the players never stood for the national anthem in the history of the NFL. You know why? Because they were in the locker rooms. They did the national anthem. Then they would come out after the national anthem, and then they would be introduced and on the sidelines and ready to roll and stretch. So it would never happen until 2009. I think they started... The military paid the NFL like $5 million or $5 per year so that they can do these kind of the patriotic show and mix the patriotism with football. That's kind of when it started mixing in there, intertwining. And then if some players don't stand, that's their right. I just want to give you the breakdown. So before you guys think that they should stand, they have to stand. No, they don't have to stand. And again, whether I like it or not, that's my opinion. Whether you like it or not, whether you guys like it or not, it's up to us. We don't like it. We can speak out about it. One way or the other, in the end, I don't really care because it's his choice. Whether I like what he's doing, his choice. I don't like what he's doing, still his choice and his right. So, we'll leave the politics as much to the side as we can. But unfortunately, that's the way it's become. And it's not because of Kaepernick. It's more because of the controversy, I think, about it. It's making it a bigger deal. If people just didn't make it such a big deal and let him express his First Amendment rights, honestly, this wouldn't have been even an issue at all. I think it would have been a lesser of an issue. And again, people fought in the military and died in the military for his right to express his First Amendment, free speech, First Amendment speech, and to sit down at the national anthem. It's his right. I can sit down. My daughter can sit down at the national anthem. That's her right. Just saying, guys. It's all our rights to do that without hurting anybody. So.
And then, let's see.
I'm sorry, questions.
Boomer
Keep going.
Sooner said, Kellen Moore was terrible when he started after Matt Castle played like trash.
Yeah.
Larry Elliott says 13-3 because one player doesn't stop a team sport.
All right, so let's catch these first. Yeah, Kellen Moore is terrible when he started after Castle. Yeah. And Boomer Sooner, I want to say that. I want to say this to you, to everybody out there. Yeah, I remember that year. Boy, it was horrible. We went through like 6 quarterbacks, Castle and Whedon, and it's just horrible. But when Moore went in, I know he won a game. I think it was against the Eagles or the Redskins. But the point is, that he looked bad, like he did in preseason.
Exactly. He won it, but by the scrape of the tiniest itty bit. It was a good combination of luck and
also running the ball
skill
and running the ball with McFadden that year when he had over almost 1,100 yards, and I think he had 1,400 from scrimmage because he catches the ball out of the backfield a lot. So, guys, I agree with let me see the whole team thing here with Boomer Sooner. Oh
yeah,
no, but with Leroy.
And Chris Senior, I definitely agree with you. If we can win 4 games with Zeke, without Zeke, we can go 12-4. But again, that means that we would have to go at least 4-2 if he serves the full suspension. And that means we have teams. That means,
right, we have the Giants, we have the Denver Broncos, then we have the Cardinals, then we have the Rams, definitely winnable. Yeah. Then we have the Packers, then we have a bye. And then we have the 49ers. So Rams, 49ers, without Zeke, we win. That's 2 wins. We can pull one out of the other 4 games, which I think we can do.
Exactly.
And I say the Giants, I think we could win. I'm saying the Broncos with no offense, we can definitely win that. They don't have an offense. And even not the Packers. I think that's the toughest game, but the Cardinal game is tough too. Both Packers and Cardinals are the toughest.
I think is more. It could definitely go either way, depending. I think the Green Bay one is the one where they might have a little bit more over us. Just for some reason, Aaron Rodgers seems to shred through.
Well, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah,
but the thing is, it depends on our pass rush. It depends on a lot of different things when it comes to the Packers.
Yeah, so it's still way too early to make specific
that's Game 5. I predict he won't get any more than 4 games, if he even has to get any right now. Because if this appeal, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Actually, we probably should. But let me finish a couple of these questions here. I'll pause myself on Zeke right now.
So
let me just see here. Cole goes up to 13-3. Go ahead, baby.
No, it's just not at all. Murray is a beast. Chip Kelly is a joke.
There you go.
Boomer Sooner. Why do people keep on comparing Cap to Muhammad Ali?
Because Muhammad Ali, and you're probably too young for this, baby, but Muhammad Ali, and I'm too young for this too. I just remember reading about it and hearing about it. But he did not go to the Vietnam War. He had enemies in his mind. It was here in the United States. He had to fight the racism at the time.
Did he go to jail?
He had to leave the country. Actually, I think he fled the country, if I recall. I know they stripped him of his title, Muhammad Ali, because he refused to fight in Vietnam, and because of his religious. He was a black Muslim, so Nation of Islam. So whether you agree or not, again, guys, that's probably why they're comparing him in that sense, because it's the same kind. They're standing up for
the same kind of like black power, anti like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like
right?
not black
really
power.
Black power, but just like.
But just awareness, right?
Guess.
Like he said, Muhammad Ali says, "I'm like no Vietnamese guy ever pointed a gun at me," and he said he was more worried about the racism and violence in this country by mainly white people towards blacks.
What's up, Hollywood? There's our
Hollywood Eagle fan.
You missed it.
We're gonna go back before we start about Zeke. We'll go about your Eagle information here in a minute. Let's see here. That's why they compare Kaepernick to Muhammad Ali. Completely different people, I will say. Muhammad Ali was a lot more outspoken, a lot more in a time that I think was a lot more radical and needed a bigger change. But there's still changes that are needed now. And again, we're not going into the politics, but that's why they compare Kaepernick and Muhammad Ali. Wolf Rider High.
Yeah. So
let me see. Chris
said Cap's only mistake was waiving the final year of his deal to test free agency. 49ers owed him $14 million. They would have had to pay him if they cut him.
You're
Again,
right.
I don't think he expected to have as bad of a year as he did as well.
But they benched him before he wasn't even starting at the beginning of the season. So he was his own fault.
Look,
also he had the socks of the police that were pigs.
The police were pigs. Yeah.
That's another mistake he did, and I'm sorry that I personally am against on him. And again, he can still do that by his right, but he has to expect people to the backlash is going to come from that. So as far as he made a lot of mistakes, he made some things that are progressive stands that I think he made. So I mean, he rose. He did definitely. Obviously, he raised awareness because people are still talking about it, and more players are doing it that are more high profile, like Marshawn Lynch, who nobody was mad at until he did that, and to the Bennett brothers, Martellus, who was a former Cowboy. I think where is he? I don't know where he's at now, but I know he was with the Patriots. He got a Super Bowl ring last year.
Didn't he end up?
Packers?
Oh my goodness.
Packers. He's with the Packers now. Yeah. So that's not good. With adding Rodgers another weapon, and Bennett, his brother, what's his name? Bennett from the Steelers, from Seattle, from the Seahawks, who called out Dak and the Cowboys a couple days ago. So we want them Steelers in December. I mean, those Steelers. We want those damn Seahawks in December. In Dallas, by the way, not in their 12 man.
Rack City said, if we can get Zeke games reduced to 2 games or 0, Jerry's taking over the NFL.
I like that.
I agree. Like we've said this earlier, or at least, we said this earlier. We understand why he might still get a game suspension for the St. Patrick's Day
event, a game or two incident. Against the personal conduct policy. It could go, definitely, they could legally get him, and trust me, the NFL obviously wants to get him.
But again, missing him for that Giants game and the Broncos game, I don't think is going to make or break us. You're talking 4 or 6 games. I think that is more of a game changer. But if you're saying 2 games, I mean, forget it. We got this. So.
And not only that, guys, also remember 2 games. We still have McFadden. We have Morris. We have Rod Smith. We have Ronnie Hillman. We have a great offensive line, a great passing game, a great quarterback and leader in Dak. We're fine. Don't freak out. Now, let's see what else we got here. We need to beat the Giants. I agree. If any game of those first 6, I want to beat the Giants. Because it's a division game. It's the only division game we have in our first 6. And, we need payback on these you-know-whats. So, let me see here.
Dak said he wants to...
DC for life. Yeah. Okay.
He wants to...
He wants to blitz because he feels that he can get better part of his game.
That's scary. Can't wait to see him.
I'm telling you, we've seen him doing his training camp. I mean, he looks so crisp. He looks so much stronger, smarter, reading plays better. He's taking a little more risks in camp, which is fine. I know Nolan Carroll picked them off twice. I said once, and I thought Carroll picked off more. It was Dak. He picked them off twice.
Was it?
And one was a little floater, bad pass by Dak. Another one was a decent pass, but Carroll ran in front. Did very well, I will say. So even though he hasn't had a good, yeah, he did through two picks to Carroll. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And Hollyway, since I'm talking about you real quick, want to re-say something. You guys, the Eagles, they cut Ryan Matthews. They released them. So just letting you guys, just give me that update, Holly, in case you didn't know. And again, guys, hit like. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I see a lot of you guys in here, so definitely, you know, we appreciate this these daily combos we have with you guys. And if you haven't already, we are doing a fantasy football league. Make sure to join. The link is in the description down below. Just go ahead and follow that. We are just playing for fun, guys. It's first come, first serve. 20 teams.
About 7 or 8 people already signed up. So
yeah, still have 12 spots open.
Make sure to get your spot.
Yep. Let me see here. Let's see. You're welcome. Carroll is trash. Yeah, you know, I never liked Carroll, but he definitely had a good game against the Rams. If you watch that game, he actually made a great stop. He didn't let him go. Didn't let the running backs go outside of him. He contained. Yeah. That's a good sign. I still think that Nolan Carroll is going to be an improvement on what we had before. Yeah, I agree. And so far, he's going to be gone though. He's going to be gone for the DWI for drunk driving. So he'll be gone for a game or two. Either way, we got enough guys to cover that spot. We just got to have all our rookies to kind of get out there on the field a little bit during preseason. Boomer Sooner, Hollyway, as much as I hate the Eagles, okay, that's fine. Trash talk on there if you guys want, that's fine. We want our Pat's moment. Yep, I agree. I think you mentioned that, right? Yeah, so David Pence, I'm just ready to see Switzer break some ankles. So, and trust me, we are all I didn't say anything about Switzer, guys. Switzer was not at practice. I did not say that today. He was at practice, but he wasn't out there in pads. I don't like that because they said he was going to play. In the beginning of the week, they said he was going to play this weekend. We actually thought he was yesterday too. They had announced that he was, but he had no practice today. He was quoted as saying that he wants. What's most important right now is his quote. I want to be ready for week 1. That tells us that he's waiting. He wants to not pull or take a chance at anything in preseason. He wants to be out there for week 1. But I think that also goes to show us. That means that we know he's talented. We know he, is good at what he does, that talent, but he must be very, very good. If we're not, if the Cowboys aren't even pushing a little bit, if they really do want to save him for that Giants game, that means that they're very confident and they trust in his abilities. They trust what he can do on the field, and that means that I think Switzer mentally also is confident about being healthy, being ready to go, and being, up and going with our system. For punt returns, maybe kickoff returns, but definitely punt returns. He's going to be doing. He's going to be doing slot receiver, double slot receiver. You're going to see him out there a lot. And you're going to see Rico out there, I think, if he comes back from this concussion, fine, which he should. Because Rico had a concussion, guys, in case you missed it earlier in our little live stream here. He had a concussion. What's up, Snacks? He'll be okay, though. Snacks, what's up? Let's see. Nolan Carroll getting suspended for the Yeah, he will, but they haven't announced it yet. So is Damian Wilson going to be suspended for his little altercation where he tried to run over a woman with his car. And then took out a gun to the man that was with her and put it to his head or something like that. But that hasn't gone to court yet. So again, guys, we don't know how long it's going to be before they do these suspensions. Yeah. It could be any moment. It could be during the season. I don't know. Right now, I just want to kind of mentally put those guys to the side right now. Carroll and Damian Wilson. We got to put them to the side a little bit because we can't count on them being out there. Let's see here. Shango posted some videos of practice today. I noticed Beasley on the back, and this is from Chris Sr. Shango posted some videos of the practice today. I noticed Beasley on the backfield, and remember I said that? I said the same thing, Chris. We saw a play where it was. I don't think it was Beasley though. It was Williams. Beasley. No, it was Beasley. No. I know what you're saying. You're talking different play. Different play. We'll talk about that. It was a cool little play that they did, and I'll explain it. Dak pitched it to Zeke, and he ran to the right. Terrence Williams ran around behind him, and Zeke gave a quick handoff. And it was basically a reverse. It was a pitch right, reverse left to Williams, with Dak out there blocking on the left side or whatever. On the left side. So it was a nice looking play, but that wasn't the play I saw Cole Beasley playing that third down back, which I think, and I said this, guys, go back to the first videos. I said this. Do not be surprised to see Ryan Switzer out there playing that Lance Dunbar third down running back role where he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield, maybe on a screen, maybe in the flats, and then zoom out there. I mean, just use his speed, pure speed to get out there. But we need him full strength, no hamstring issues, and let's just hope that the strength and conditioning coaches can get these hamstring issues fixed. And back to Dallas, in one piece for the most part, other than Tyrone Crawford's big injury. You know, and again, even that one, we kind of dodged a bullet there. So, you know, the biggest injury, the biggest issue right now, I would say out of like our whole camp, truly, even more than Tyrone Crawford, would be Zeke being gone. It's almost, you got to look at it as an injury in a way. But
it definitely, like we said, it definitely hurts us, but we can recover, and thankfully it is not an injury in the sense that we have to deal with the after effects of that. So, you know, really, and actually, let's go ahead and touch on the Zeke thing. There's not too many new updates other than what we already said. So he did file the appeal today.
As expected.
Yep. So the NFL has 10 days to respond and give him a date on when they will hear his appeal. So they have 10 days to respond. That doesn't mean the appeal will be heard within 10 days.
They're going to set a date within 10 days on when they're going to hear his appeal.
Yeah, but some NFL sources have said that it could possibly be August 29th.
Yeah, August. Well, here's the reason, guys. August 29th, I think it's you know, the beginning of the week, a Monday or Tuesday. The reason they're doing that, they're saying that because it is 10 days-ish, a little after 10 days. Actually, I think it's 10 business days is what they're talking about, you know, weekdays. Yeah. So after 10 business days, they have to have a result going by the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA agreement that the Players Association, the NFLPA has, and the NFL has with each other. It has to be no later than the 29th to get to know the date that he's going to have to talk with them and get his appeal heard. Then they'll announce the date, and again, it should be shortly after that. I think after that point, if they deny his appeal, he'll take him to court.
Exactly. So at that point, he will file an injunction, and if it does get to that point,
it'll be a Brady situation.
That means that he will be playing
probably a whole season
while the court, you know, goes through their proceedings
and figures out if the NFL had the right to do that to him. Kind of like what they did with Tom Brady when he was there. He had to file the injunction because he lost his appeal. So he filed an injunction, and I let him play a whole season. Now, with Zeke, this thing took 13 damn months to get. So you think it's going to take at least 3 or 4 months to get this thing fixed, to get it investigated. It's going to take more than that by the courts. Now, that's assuming he wins the injunction. Now, if the appeal goes into the season, let's say they do the appeal is set for to hear it by the 14th or the 20th of September.
Yeah.
He'll play a couple games. He will still be playing, guys, until the appeal is heard. And if it's then denied, then he'll go right immediately to get the injunction, hopefully. And if it's approved, the injunction, if he wins the injunction, then he'll still be in the games. If not, then he has to be suspended for the 6 games or whatever it is they do come to an agreement with or whatever. We don't know if they're going to reduce it. He still can take him to court. If he wins the appeal, he can still take him to court. If they say you go to 2 games or 4 games,
he could still appeal that decision if he chooses to.
Not appeal the decision. No, that's the appeal decision. He can't appeal it. Let's get the wording right. He has to take him to court with the injunction. He can still file an injunction even if he wins his appeal. If they clear all 6 games off, then there's no need for an injunction. Yeah. But if they give him 1 game and he wants to fight that, he can still fight that with an injunction if he wins the injunction ruling in the courts. And then it's going to take a year before they come back with an answer on that. So he can still play in the middle of that. Now, the only way he won't play is if they deny his appeal and his injunction is denied. Then he'll be suspended for the 6 games or whatever the appeal was. You know, whether it's 6, 4, or 2. So I'm sorry. Let's get back to these things here. I'm just trying to look here to see. Jerry Jones did say he does not want to comment on the Zeke situation.
Yeah. So he just said that he will be making a comment once they have all the facts and they can kind of gather themselves. So it sounds like he is still dealing with some residual pissed offness, to be honest, because. You know, but other than that, I think everybody from Jerry Jones' camp just doesn't want to say anything that could possibly hurt Zeke's case, and they're letting their lawyers do the job. They
want to make sure everyone gets in line on their side. They want to get their lawyers in line, their order of things in line
dot their I's and cross their T's.
Exactly, before anything is said publicly. So just give it time. I know everyone wants to hear from Jerry Jones, and all the players were interviewed a couple days yesterday and today about the Zeke situation. And Zeke, in the beginning, definitely they said that I heard from a couple of players, the running backs coach. They said that Zeke was very down. Now you can just see it in practice. If you watch some training camp video, you can see how he's sluggish. He's not into it. He's not happy dancing around like he usually is.
We know Zeke. We've known him for the last. Well, you know what I mean.
Watching him,
we don't know him.
You can see his personality out there.
It's obviously a different mood.
Yeah, he's definitely down. At least the one thing that good comes out of this is that it's a wake-up call to Zeke, and I truly think he will wake up from this. Not with the domestic violence thing, because I don't think he did anything wrong based on the evidence presented so far.
But just with making better decisions overall and how it could affect him and his career.
Right. When the NFL is looking at him, eyeballing him, wanting to see a problem, and he's then in the middle of a parade whether, again, it was probably not the best thing to do, but it wasn't anything illegal. Pulling down the woman's blouse, which she had pulled down her blouse before the video of that clip, pulled down her blouse on her own. She did it herself after that clip. She didn't file any police report, so it's not any laws being broken. But the fact that, you know, they kind of just chopped out that little segment of the tape to make him look bad, you know, obviously, no matter what, it doesn't look good. So even if with the other things around it, but you got to remember, you got to take it, put it in context, guys. He's 21, 22 years old, doing dumb things. The one thing that's really stupid is that he's doing this when he's being investigated for domestic violence with women, and he pulls down a woman's dress, you know, a woman's blouse. It's just a stupid thing, a young, immature, stupid thing to do, but not illegal. And at worst, if you want to add all the things together, all the controversies, 2 games at most.
Exactly. So, Holloway, we play the Colts 7 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday we're going to have everybody here, us two, the kids, watching the game. You know, if not the whole time, most of the time, taking questions from you guys. I mean, the kids, they love the game day questions and stuff, so join us for that too. You know, you get different perspectives. My daughter knows a lot about the Cowboys, more than most 10-year-old girls know. So you get some interesting answers and honest answers from her. She even said on 2 weeks ago, she said that when one of you guys asked, I think Patrick, who was a Giants fan, asked, you know, who's better, Odell Beckham or Dez right now, and this season coming up, she said Dez. And she said Odell. For good reasons, you know, and I clarified the fact that we're a running team as well. So we're not even need Dez in that kind of role that Odell has to play on the Giants. So, you know, it's a big difference. So let's see here.
Yeah, Chris Sr., why is Goodell bigger than the law? I don't get it. They say he has more resources for investigation. They should hire him to find Tupac's killer. So, and again, what they're saying is that they're taking the word of the testimony of the victim, the word from the prosecutor's office that they felt something happened, and they believed the victim, but had no evidence to back up her claims.
And also about her friends.
Testimony.
No, it was unsworn.
The unsworn testimony, just the testimony from her friends. Yeah. So they're choosing to take that evidence and hold it in higher regard than the rest of the evidence that was also presented, showing her character, showing
her lies.
You know, why the harassment charge was filed by Zeke, showing her lies, showing her altercation at the bar.
Right, and there was eyewitnesses that saw this, heard a lot of the comments about ruining Zeke. We've said this over and over again, guys. You know, just check the evidence yourself. We posted some stuff on our Twitter page. You can see it all there, and I'm telling you, all signs point to Zeke being, you know, innocent in this situation, or at least at the very worst, he said, she said. But the NFL chose to take what she said over what he said and the facts. And I want to make a point. NFL is not the law. NFL is their own little, you know, business. So they have their own rules, their own bylaws, and the players agreed that they gave Goodell, and it's their own fault. And the CBA, they agreed to this in the collective bargaining agreement that gave Roger Goodell the right, the ability to suspend any player for any reason on his own assumption. So even if the courts don't find him guilty, or even if there are not even charges against him,
by the NFL's own policy, he could still be in the right. Goodell could still be in the right.
Goodell could still be in the right, and honestly, they're probably not going to take any games off because he's going to be one of the ruling parties in this appeal. And if they're going to repeat information like the harassment charges, which is true and is documented, that Zeke had to file on this woman, you know, the same woman, she did these harassment charges, this harassment provable charges. He put this in, she called, and it's been documented that she was harassing him 3 months after the alleged assault and domestic violence. Why is she still calling him 2.5 months, 3 months later and harassing him? He documented this, and the cops had to, you know, put out this harassment charge and file it, you know, and it's definitely there. So obviously we all, Cowboy fans, you know, we have a bias, but if you look at the facts, I'm trying really to do that. NFL is on the wrong on this, and I don't care if you're a Cowboy hater or if you want to see Zeke go down because you're scared of us or you're scared of Zeke. Either way, you look at it the real way. If Odell Beckham had this happen, even though I would say, yeah, you know, I'd be honest with you guys. I'd say, yeah, it's good that he's gone. We'd rather not see him because he's such a great talent and he could hurt our Cowboys. But at the same time, I would have also said, that's messed up what Goodell is doing.
Exactly. So, and remember, guys, it's happening right now to Zeke, but it could happen to Odell next year. It could happen to Rodgers the year after.
All it takes is an accusation.
Exactly. So, and if that's all it takes, if the NFL is saying that the precedent for being suspended for 6 games is just an allegation of wrongdoing, then they're setting a very, very scary bad precedent. So
now I want to say
get to some of these comments.
I want to say that just to make it clear, Holly and anybody out there, thank you, DC for life, Dallas Cowboys for life. The game against the Colts, 7 p.m. Eastern time on NFL Network.
Yep, this Saturday.
So just keep that in mind, guys. You can put it on NFL Network and then put on your computers and watch with us. You'll see our comments, our opinions,
our reactions.
Play by play. We might be a little behind. Just work with us on that. You know what's coming out, so you can see us. But again, we look at it. We give our true opinions. Sometimes we're like, actually, I do want to say one thing about the last game that I kind of messed up on.
That's right.
Yeah, DeMontre Moore did a great job in that game. He actually put some pressure on the backup quarterback for the Rams in the second half, and he threw an interception that I think Frazier, or no, he not interception. No, they knocked the ball out. It was the play that knocked the ball out. I think they caught the ball, but then Xavier Woods knocked the ball out, and Kevon Frazier picked it up. That play was great by DeMontre Moore. But then later on, like the next drive.
Yeah, we were just saying, like, DeMontre Moore's on fire today.
Yeah, and we realized it was number 56, Lenny Jones, who, by the way, guys, I should have mentioned this yesterday, but I gotta send my apologies to him. He looked fantastic. I rewatched the game a third time, just on and off, and watched the second half of that game. And boy, Lenny Jones looked good. 56, like a Lawrence Taylor. He was in the backfield breaking up the plays, disrupting plays. Another guy you might want to see on the bubble making this team.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to keep our eye on Jones from now on for sure.
Yeah, Lenny Jones, guys, number 56.
And
let's see, what else?
Let's get back to some of these comments. So Zeke should have the Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant was dealing with assault in 2004. Charged in his career, he used the Mamba mentality. Zeke said...
I know, the thing about that, unfortunately, is that Mamba, I think, was guilty, and he paid that woman off, I think. I don't know what happened, but either way, I mean, that looked more like he could have been part of that. Although I will say, that woman definitely set him up a little bit. So it's a tough thing. It's a tough situation. Something happened. Yeah. But it's not just like he said, she said. And yeah, he did use that mentality. Not a bad thing there, Boomer Sooner, to bring up there.
And then Zeke said...
Who's this saying this?
Chris Sr. said, Zeke said... She said, you're a black athlete, I'm a white woman, though believe me, if that's true, Goodell might lose his job. Then this, again,
this incident might
be, but this might be the best thing that ever happened to the NFL. Goodell loses his job, depending on who replaces him, but yeah.
Guys, I want to say something. I hate the Giants. I freaking hate the Redskins my whole life. Ever since the late 80s, I hate the Buddy Ryan Eagles and their fans. I hate it. I hate the Eagles. But you know what I hate more than all these teams and all these people?
And you know who can bring Cowboy fans and Eagle fans and Giant fans and Redskin fans together in their mutual hatred of Roger Goodell.
I hate him more than even the most hated team in my life so far. Right now for this season, I want to see Goodell gone. And I can understand now what the Patriots fans thought, what they felt like when the Tom Brady thing. Whether or not that was right or wrong, who knows? And I could definitely understand the anger behind that for that. I don't know what he did. I mean, there's something fishy was going on there. But again, suspending him 4 games, I can understand why Patriots fans were upset about the witch hunt that Goodell is trying to do. But this is a domestic violence witch hunt. He has to look good in front of everybody. And the irony here is that he might actually look worse by doing this.
Every time he leaves his office, every time he goes to any kind of NFL event, you hear it in the crowd. I mean, you hear the booing, the yelling, the jeering. I mean, just this past Super Bowl alone, you saw people just
they were waiting for that.
Completely rip him apart.
In the draft in Philadelphia, when they had the draft in Philly this past couple months ago, and Philadelphia fans would know this, and you guys seen it if you guys seen it on TV. Philadelphia fans were booing Goodell, and I don't know what he did wrong to them. But my point is that everybody hates Goodell, and now even more. Now they'd probably be cheering him now if they had this because of Zeke. But aside from that, everybody boos Goodell, and sometimes it's just to boo him. But now I kind of see, he thinks he's like a dictator, like Stalin or Hitler. I don't know.
You know what happened, guys? You know what? Conspiracy theory. Put on your tinfoil hats. The Giants paid Goodell to suspend Zeke.
Well, let's bring up. I know
it sounds crazy, but I do know that the lead investigator, the lead person handling
Brenda Friel or something like that. I think, or Brenda Friel. I don't know.
But I know that she is a big Giants fan.
A huge Giants fan. She's the first person that Goodell hired after the Ray Rice thing because she was a woman's rights attorney or something like this. So they got like the most. I don't want to say like a bad way, but both the most feminist. Pro
equality. Yeah, guys, I am all about equality.
So
domestic violence is a real thing. It's a horrible thing. But nobody wants anybody for that to,
But don't make up stuff out there.
Exactly.
And Goodell is just trying to make himself look good by using Ezekiel
as his. Friel, thank you.
Lisa Friel, thank you. Yes. Look her up. You guys will see all the information. I think it's going to hit the fan. You know what I say when I say it is going to hit the fan. Because
a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it is going to hit the fan over this.
And honestly, from both sides, because we've seen a few people talking, if this does make it all the way to court, if his initial appeal is somehow denied or Zeke isn't happy with it, guys, I think we're going to expect just the same way that Tom Brady, it got really dirty on both sides. I think a lot of things are going to come out that's going to embarrass not just, the NFL, but possibly Jerry Jones and Zeke as well. It's going to get dirty.
No, I just want to see the questions here. I see the Giants kicker. Yeah, so LeRae Elliott says.
Yeah.
The Giants, you read it.
Yeah, the Giants kicker said
he
hit his wife and got a 1-day suspension and a new contract, but Zeke got 6 games. So, and not just that.
You wonder if race has something to do with it. And I don't want to say that because I don't want to play that card. But again, it's strange.
Situations like this does put that doubt in your mind. Even if it's not a factor in that, you can't 100% say it's not when you have when you see things like this, and we're not saying it is.
I don't want to say it is. I won't go. I'm not
saying that it puts doubt over the whole thing.
Why would a kicker who again? Let me just correct him about something. But that's LeRae Elliott. Let me just let you know that I think that the situation with Josh Brown, the Giants kicker last season, when he was in the court system, this was getting out in the courts. And then the next thing that happened was he got suspended for a game, even though it was just an allegation. Mm-hmm. Then what happened is after the allegations were out and he was going through the courts and he had a court date set, the NFL suspended him for 1 game. And as the seasons continued, as the season went on, and as he went to court, they found his diary.
Which said found more proof.
It was proof. He actually wrote in his diary that he
admitting
kicked her 20 times. Like 20 and one time, but it happened 20. He kicked her approximately 20 times, and he admitted this. So at this point, at that point he got suspended. The Giants immediately released him, but that's proof from his own mouth. Zeke, it's a completely different case, and yet Zeke got 6 games for just an allegation that was thrown out by 2 police departments and the prosecution. The NFL, they don't have the same guilty until proven innocent. The NFL, the NFL, innocent until proven guilty is the law. The NFL is like guilty until proven innocent, and that's a shame. Exactly. But they have the right to do that as of right now.
Yeah, so Shallow Hal, it was actually Kevon Frazier who hit Rico's towards the end of practice on a 7 against 7 drill, and it just an unlucky hit. Yeah. He'll be going through the concussion protocol. Hopefully he will be back out there sometime next week if he's feeling back to it, but it was Kevon Frazier who gave him
number
that
35,
and then Chris Sr., there's no way race doesn't have something to do with it. Can't be, and that's what I'm trying to say. Even if it doesn't, even if race has absolutely nothing to do with it, just because of the way the NFL handled this scenario, it looks bad, and it brings doubt onto what their true motives are. And even now, they refuse to release a 160-page report detailing why they decided to suspend Zeke. That means that they're going to be forced to, either release that information, by the court. They're going to be forced to release that information instead of voluntarily releasing it. It just goes to show that they probably still have more to hide.
Also, personally, I guess I kind of feel that way too. At the same time, it's kind of like the way it has to be done when you're doing the legal system, and so you got to remember they're using this as an excuse.
Look, and I understand that, but at the end of the day, the NFL,
the NFL has a problem. They're
so worried about their image and all that, and one of the biggest things with this case is that there hasn't been any clarity. It took 13 months to reach this decision. We want to see why you reached this decision and why it took you 13 months to reach it. And I'm sorry, but we're not the only ones saying that the NFL needs to be more clear. There has to be some clarity, some explanation.
Even people that agree with the suspension say there still needs more clarity by the NFL.
Exactly.
And that's when I correct. Again, I don't know if you corrected Shallow Hal.
I let him know.
Okay, that it was Kevon Frazier. Just so you know, I know we said it a minute ago, but
I'm seeing this about Le'Veon Bell now. It's interesting.
Le'Veon Bell, is he signed or something going on? Let's see. Boomer Sooner. I'll be mad when another player gets accused of domestic violence and gets suspended for 4 games. I mean, that's the thing. Is you're going to see someone like, Brett Favre sent pictures, inappropriate pictures, and it's proven. And yet he wasn't suspended for anything for that. But nowadays, in this day and age, in this kind of situation with Goodell and the post-Ray Rice incident, guarantee you, if that was the same time, I would suspect that he would be suspended 4 games or something like that for that. And again, guys, it's a shame that I guess in a way it is, NFL is a business, so they have their own rules and their own ways of doing things. But again, the fact that the collective bargaining agreement that they were agreed upon for 10 years. So for 10 years, Goodell is the king, so to speak. Doesn't matter what the law says. Doesn't matter what the law finds. Doesn't matter what the player says. Whoever accuses somebody, whatever woman accuses any of these men in football of domestic violence will probably be suspended if the NFL wants to suspend them and make an example of them to help the image of Roger Goodell of being, hard on domestic violence people and domestic violence situation and abusers, which he should be, but only when there's enough proof and evidence, not on feelings and a witch hunt to make someone one of the higher seen, the most best players in the NFL right now, and he's using him as an example.
So let's see. And Rack City, I want to get to your comment in just a minute because I was actually looking up some stuff on that just now.
So
So Boomer Sooner, I'll be mad when another player gets accused of domestic violence and gets suspended for 4 games. Yeah. So I don't think race doesn't have anything to do with it.
Who's saying this? Who's saying this?
So Larae Elliott said, I don't think race doesn't have anything to do with it. I think they're mad because they dropped the ball with Ray Rice.
I agree.
Honestly, I think that's the sole reason we're seeing such a major overreaction.
We just brought up the race thing as a possibility. Just because you bring it up doesn't mean it is. And I don't want to play into that race baiting, race card, all that garbage.
But the Ray Rice situation directly has an effect on why this is being handled.
And another thing too, guys, remember with Josh Brown being a kicker, do you think it's the race thing or do you think it's the fact that he's a kicker? Like Zeke is a big, strong running back and a kicker. A kicker,
exactly.
They're still kind of like smaller.
Dan Bailey or Travis Frederick.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of the difference between those two physicalities,
But it's unfortunate that the NFL can still say whether it's because of race or whether it's because of sizeism. My point is that it's still something weird that why would he get suspended 1 game and Zeke 6 for something that was more against this guy with this kicker than Zeke, who's a household name in the NFL. So everybody knows Zeke, and everybody's gonna, Josh Brown, who's he?
Exactly.
Some people, people that don't know, people that aren't Giant fans or football fans, just casual fans, they're not gonna even know that. So him giving him a big suspension's not gonna really show much in the sense of, hey, I did the right thing, and he did that, and ended up having to suspend him longer because he actually admitted guilt.
Exactly.
And Goodell gave him 1 game, which makes him look weak. So what is he doing this year? He's gonna make Zeke pay for it.
Going all the way in the opposite direction.
He's gonna make Zeke pay for it to redeem his image. And the Ray Rice situation, I think that's where it all comes from. I think race has very little to do with this, if anything, but it makes it look bad. I think that the size situation could be a factor as well, because how could, Zeke, I could see him doing that, but I can't see the kicker doing that. No, BS. Anybody can do that. Even women can do that to men.
Exactly.
Trust me, I've been scared. I'm just joking.
Yeah, you never know.
But no, I'm just saying that it could happen. And again, size shouldn't matter, race shouldn't, all that stuff does not matter. It comes down to being fair across the board and consistent and transparent. And as we've already discussed a million times, NFL has shown everything opposite of that.
So,
take some more questions here.
Let me see. Rack City, I want to go back to your comment on Le'Veon Bell. You said he's not playing this year.
That's probably your guess, right?
Mike Tomlin says that he just actually said it today, I believe, on a radio interview. He said, quote, I needed him back like yesterday, but I don't always get what I want. So, again, I'm not 100% clear on the reason Le'Veon Bell, if I'm not mistaken, it's because he wants to be paid more. He wants more money. He wants a bigger contract. That's why he's not playing. But honestly, it seems kind of a bad move. As a football player, you need to stay kind of on top of things. Even 1, 2, 3 weeks could hurt your development. Even a player as great as Le'Veon Bell, he still needs time to reacclimate with himself, with some new teammates and the new plays, whatever new system, even the old system. It just makes no sense, especially football players that have such a limited, viable playing time. There's only so many years you can play in the NFL, so many years you can, every year, every minute you don't play.
Especially at running back.
Yeah.
Running backs are, at 32 years old, you're way too old.
So
32-year-old, you're old. And again, Le'Veon Bell, he had that Blunt situation with Blunt, with LeGarrette Blunt, when he was suspended for a game or 2. He had another issue last year. I think he was injured or suspended again.
So again, Le'Veon Bell is absolutely amazing.
He's a
very
great player.
Amazing, talented,
and that's why he's holding out.
Player, but
he'd get paid $14 million, I think, if he took it this year. Again, maybe not enough for his abilities, but at the same time, nothing to sneeze at.
Look, at the end of the day, as a player, we all, I guess, not just that, but I feel like their ultimate goal should be a Super Bowl. Obviously,
but they also got to play for themselves.
Yeah, and that's
it's a business for them too.
It's a double-edged sword, but I just think it's very, very dumb.
Any Steeler fan out there? Yeah, I mean, but again, guys, remember, we don't want to jump on the hate Le'Veon Bell.
I'm not hating on him.
I know
his decisions are his decisions.
I
just
remember,
think it's dumb.
I remember back in 1994. Yeah, 94, a long time ago. That I do remember someone named somebody whose number was 22 named Emmitt Smith. After they won the first Super Bowl, it was the end of his contract and he wanted to get re-signed and Jerry Jones was not going to. You guys remember we lost the first 2 games because because Emmitt Smith was not re-signed. It was a battle. He held out to the second week and then when he came back, guess what happened, guys? You know the rest of the story. We won a Super Bowl and then we lost Jimmy Johnson the next year. Got 1 game from the Super Bowl, but went back the next year after that. So again, guys,
let me just give a quick shout out to some Steeler fans, though. It ain't 1994. In case there's any out there, it's not 1994. Well, it's 2017, and this is the Cowboys' year.
Yeah, well, look, they have look. You want 6? Look, 5 is just not enough. All right, guys, we want 6 Super Bowls, and I know the Steelers they want 7. So we definitely want to make sure that it's. Not that I'm cheering for this, but I'm kind of glad that Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers are having a little bit of an issue there. Just makes it easier for the Cowboys and I guess Zeke to kind of be the main focus again of the NFL in the sense of like everybody watching us, hoping a lot of people hope we go down. A lot of us are going to hope they get to the Super Bowl and win their 6th. We don't want the Steelers winning a 7th. We don't want the Patriots winning a 6th. We don't want the Niners winning a 6th, which they won't, not this year. And we don't want the Giants winning a 5th. So keep that in mind when you're rooting on teams throughout the season and into the playoffs. If for some reason our Cowboys fall, we want those teams to not do well. Now let me see, guys. While I do this on my own, these glasses have to be, I think, upgraded. Let me see here. Let me see. Eagle fan. I have fans or Eagles, Giant Panthers say that Zeke is getting screwed. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I do. I have heard that. Although I heard a lot of fans, especially on like NFL memes and all these different websites, they just hate the Cowboys. They like to see this happening to Zeke. So whatever with those haters. Yeah, Ray Rice makes him look stupid. Chris, I agree. Let's see here. It's either because he's a Giant or race. Yeah, that's what we discussed. Zeke, yeah, Leray Elliott. Yes, I think because Zeke is a big name, as we discussed, I agree. Do you know that Zeke's jersey is second best behind Brady? Yep, and actually he was number 1. If I recall, he was number 1 at a certain point during the season or in the off season before this last couple of months. But he was the number 1, I think last year, if I recall, with Dak into the season. They were like the 1 and 2 jerseys with Zeke and Dak last year and into this year. Let's see here. Robert Aguayo, yes, he got cut. That's why you don't draft. Exactly. Kickers, they come a dime a dozen. Of course, there's a few really good ones. So, it's good that we can.
Speaking of good kickers, Dan Bailey is the best kicker.
Yes, he is. Sorry, guys. He's a great kicker. Back. Let's see here. Why would any player play under the franchise? They could get a career-ending injury, be done forever. And again, guys, this is part of the NFLPA and the Players Union deciding to agree to the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. This is their own fault. I've heard a couple of things they want to change the next time. We're talking about 7 more years from now, I think, or so.
Oh, so they can't even change this rule?
I mean, there's a way I think they can bring it back. The players can strike. That's a possibility.
I mean,
but they have this thing now with the Goodell situation where he's like King Goodell. He can make whatever he wants. They also, the Players Union wants to make, bear with us here, whether you agree or not, they want to make marijuana in their league to be a medicinal drug, which I'm sure will help a lot of players.
Which again, guys, and remember, it is medicinally legal in I think over half of the states. It is recreationally legal in a handful of states, and recreational side, we understand why the NFL would disagree with that.
Right.
But if their own doctors within the NFL determine that a player could possibly use it,
that's one of those things that NFLPA is really looking at to change. And that's probably coming soon as well. Whenever they do the restructuring, you're going to see that change. They'll probably be adopting a measure where the owners have to kind of give in to something, and that's going to be one of the things they give into, which really it's both sides are kind of agreeing to that already. It's just a matter of when, not if. But remember something about that important, that if marijuana becomes part of the medical allowance in the NFL, that means that Randall Gregory might come back. So, he might come back sooner. He might come back and play. I mean,
it really depends on their restrictions and how exactly
we don't know what the breakdown's going to be.
It could possibly affect other players that are facing any kind of infraction involving marijuana.
The problem is, unfortunately for him, he was caught not doing it medicinally. He was caught doing it recreationally.
Yeah, very medicinal.
It also could be grandfathered in. Even if they change it, he could still be suspended based on the fact that he did it when it was not medicinally legal in the NFL. So, but again, there was a study done like 5 years ago, and it just came out recently where like 60%, not 60, like 40% of the players in the NFL either use it for pain sometimes in the past. Some, of course, use it recreationally, but it helps their pain. So, and these players are doing this. Obviously, it helps their soreness, their bumps and bruises.
Look, guys, anything that's going to help, the players stay healthy, stay pain-free.
Pain-free, want to make sure
I'm sorry, but, when you don't have pain, when you're not hurting all the time, you can heal. So we just want everybody to be healthy and back out there. So if
Jerry Jones does want that as well, too. Yeah. He's got on record as saying that. And some owners have said that, too. It's just a matter of time, guys.
Yeah, so again that could be help. A change that we see happening.
But again, all these things are part of the collective bargaining agreement. And if they have to change, again, we talked about the King Goodell thing. We talked about the marijuana thing. And it's also the situation where they franchise tag players. They want to change it. They got to do it through there. Because right now, it's in stone. And unfortunately for the players, they gave up a lot of rights in the last agreement, and they might have to strike again in a year or two. You don't know, but it might have to happen if they cannot come up with something to an agreement that is going to get with the times. So let's see what happens with that. Now, Chris Sr., marijuana should be legal in the NFL. If Russell Wilson gets pulled over with weed in Washington, no one finds out because it's legal. Dez gets pulled over with weed in Dallas. Exactly. But that's different. That's outside the NFL.
Exactly. And remember, as far as the NFL policy as well, it doesn't matter that Russell Wilson legally had the marijuana. If he consumed it and it goes against their policy, it's kind of the same way that even though recreational medicinal marijuana is legal in several states, certain jobs will still drug test you and you still can't get hired at those jobs because their policy still says...
Shallow Hal made me laugh there. Why do you say that about Nate Newton? I'm just curious. Because we have our own opinions about Nate Newton. He's a little slow up there. I don't know, but
who's Nate Newton?
Nate Newton, you don't remember the guy you love on the Talking Cowboys and the former Cowboy player?
Oh God, no. He's
a little slow out there. He mumbles on his words.
Yeah, if there's ever a PSA for why you shouldn't let your kids play football, there's definitely one. I think that terrifies me, guys.
Guys, Nate Newton's actually he comes from this area.
Yeah,
he played high school near where we live.
He's like a great guy, but when it comes to...
But he also wasn't that educated as well from the beginning.
But at least the job that he's doing now is just... He's not well suited for it.
Well, they got him on there.
That's my nice way of saying that when I hear him talk, it's like a cheese grater on my ears. Because it's hard to follow what he's saying, and I feel like he's so close to getting... He's close to getting those football thoughts out, but he always stops like... halfway in the play and talks about something. You know what I mean?
Halfway
he's like halfway through his explanation, and it's like he switches gears. So
yeah, I mean, look, whatever, Nate. I understand why you said that. Now, Boomer Sooner, rookie contracts are terrible for the league. You want to be paid, you don't get the money you want. I agree. Again, you got to remember, it's also got to be safety nets for the owners. You can't be paying the rookies too much money, crazy money, and then they get injured, and then they got to pay them out.
Or they don't pan out as well. We know, rookies are hit or miss.
Randall Gregory, if someone like him, we pay him a lot. I mean, again, luckily we have in the clause that he's not. Right now, it's worth us keeping Gregory on the inactive list for the whole year than cutting him. If we cut him, we owe him money. If we don't, it's in his contract. We don't have to pay him. So right now, why let him out there? Keep him on the team. Saves us money on our cap, and we have a player. You never know you never know. I'm not saying you're ever going to see him as a Cowboy again, but you never know. You never know. I'm going to leave it at that. Joe Mixon isn't spent right. I know I think it's because it happened when he was in college, guys. There's a big difference once you get drafted. After the draft, you do something wrong, you're gonna be suspended. If it happens before the draft,
it could affect how you're drafted. But I don't think that they can.
Well, that's why Mixon knocked a woman out after she punched him a couple times. I don't know what happened. I saw the video. He should not have done that. And again, he did this. And it is horrible, and he should pay the consequences. But I don't think the NFL can actually do anything about something that happened in college. Again, we know King Goodell can do whatever he wants, but I think that there's actually a policy in the CBA, which the players agree to, that whatever happens in college cannot be punished for in the NFL. So that's why you don't see Mixon suspended yet. So, and we don't know what's going to happen. Spagnuolo cuts Newton off every time he's on Talking Cowboys. Yeah, Rack City, why isn't Joe Mixon? And I just told you guys why.
Yeah, so my Cowboys family, did you hear about what Dak said about running backs today?
Yes.
Yes.
They look, we have enough guys that they're going to do, good things. They actually asked him, do you think you're going to be running more? He says, no, not based on what they're doing in practice. Dak is not going to be running crazy out there.
And again, and honestly, we've only seen him run a handful of times. They're not, not much has changed in the way that they're running practice. But, again, the biggest thing that I would say has changed is more obviously the energy of practice. And obviously there's a few more guys getting a few extra reps since Zeke isn't going to be out there playing as much. And
that's the thing, guys. You remember that, Zeke is going to, not Zeke, but Dak, who are we talking about, Zach or Zeke?
Dak is talking about the running backs.
Yeah, he's not going to. They're not going to change much. It's going to be running the ball. That's our running back. Running first is still going to stick with our team plans because we have the backs to do it and we have the linemen to do it. So again, guys, just to give you a little update on offensive line, Byron Bell still looking a little weak on one-on-ones. He needs that help from left and right. I'm still scared about him. Chaz Green, I will say, he's looking better. Yesterday he got bowled over a couple times, but today he looked a lot better, Chaz Green, which is a great sign. Now he's playing Tyron Smith's spot on the starting lineup because Tyron Smith's not going to play Saturday. So he's playing, Chaz Green's going to play left tackle. And I think Bell and Cooper are going to probably split at the left guard. But Chaz Green, once Tyron Smith goes out there, or maybe in practice as we go on towards next week, or even this week, you're going to see Chaz Green playing that left guard spot. Let's see how that goes. Because he looked good today playing left tackle. And that's a little harder than playing left guard. So we're going to see how he plays when he gets moved back to guard. And he's going to get, I think they're already kind of penciling him in there without even seeing him there long enough, even in the game. But we have to have guys ready because he's injury prone. And that's the problem with Mr. Green.
Yeah, so and how about them Cowboys? I don't think it's that strange that Jerry Jones and Zeke are being very quiet about it.
Legal.
Actually, Jerry Jones actually went on record and he said that, they're kind of...
Getting their ducks in order.
He's not going to publicly really make a statement on it until they have all their ducks in a row. And honestly, it's a smarter thing to do. They all want to be a united front on the same page and make sure they don't say anything that, even though it's not wrong or whatever, it could possibly hurt their case. So they're trying to be smart about this.
They're being smart.
Yes.
Boomer Sooner, I understand. Obviously, you don't want to see that from your school, player from your school, so I'd be disappointed too. But again, because it happened before, and he should pay the legal consequence. But NFL does have no rights to suspend him. Shocking. No, I'm saying that you're right about Dak and his DUI. That draft week, it never happened though. But it happened before he got drafted. So luckily, he didn't get suspended for that, obviously. And Jerry.
Dak learned his lesson early on.
Yeah.
He had a few bumps in the
college.
road.
Yeah, he had a fight, cracked his. He has a scar he's going to have for life because someone broke a bottle on his face.
And it really, for whatever reason, it just seemed to have really sunk in for him.
Yeah.
And thankfully,
he's a true leader, but he's been a leader since he was in high school. Yeah, so he's kept that, thankfully. Jerry has. I agree. Rack City, he has a plan. Going back to how about them Cowboys question, Jerry Jones has a plan. He's smart. He's a businessman.
Jerry Jones lawyers have a plan.
Well, but Jerry Jones knows everything. He knows all these things. Yes. Jerry Jones is ready. He was ready for this in case. I'm sure in his mind he was ready. If he has to go this route, he will, and he is. So they're going to keep, the Cowboys are keeping everything close to the vest. And I wanted to touch on what the NFL, their report and their findings. The thing is that the findings by Goodell. They're keeping, the NFL's not releasing what they found in their investigation. 160 pages, right? They have not released it. And it's, again, we say, they're hiding something. They could be hiding something. They might have done something wrong. But unfortunately, it is what they have to do legally, just like the Cowboys and Zeke.
To protect themselves.
Right. The NFL is doing that to protect themselves. Zeke and Jerry Jones are doing that to protect themselves. And this is going to hit the fan soon. So we're going to find out eventually. But I'm really going to be curious what excuse they have to do this to Zeke. Now, yes, even though we don't like the language, we try to keep it family friendly. Cowboys legend, LL, thank you. We appreciate you on here. And I agree with you. F the Giants. Now, I love your, by the way, guys, if you don't know Cowboys legend, he's got a great channel, more like a trash talking thing. So if you like that, jump on there too. He gives you some good information too on there. So shouts out to him. Jump on there. Subscribe to him.
Cowboys as well. He puts out great videos.
He put out a cowboy quiz today. He's getting started. He's just in in the beginnings of his channel. So keep supporting all the Cowboys, the YouTubers out there. I mean, we all doing this for
guys,
free.
We can't do this without you guys as well.
Right, we're putting it for free with no money. You know, just doing it out of our own pockets, our own time. You know, we try to provide you guys with just a straight up non-biased information through a Cowboys perspective, a fan perspective, and with Cowboy news. You know, mainly Cowboy stuff. We hate the Giants, Eagles, Redskins, etc. But you know,
so if you do want to pay us, though, please.
There's a Patreon account.
But
you know, one day we'll have super chat. You guys can ask us special questions when we get more subscribers one of these days. But again, guys, it's not about the money. It's about the Cowboys.
Hey, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Yeah, exactly. All these subscribers later. So,
now,
seriously,
Chris,
thank you for joining us.
I want to go up on something actually very important here. Let me see. Tyron Smith isn't playing. Please don't play Dak. Again, Rack City. Tyron Smith will not play. But you know what? You know, will play is going to be Chaz Green is going to be playing left tackle, and that's why they will be playing Dak this game, because Chaz Green is playing starting left tackle right now, and he's secure enough. They trust him enough that they think his blind side will be protected for one drive. It should be fine, so they will play him. Chris Senior, La'el Collins, number 71, looked bad last preseason game. Listen. I'm going to say this. Watch the first game. Tell me how you think he did when they purposely ran on his side. He could not get one block down. This last game, he played a lot better. Not great, but he's improvement.
And in practice today, I will say, we saw him do some of the best work that he's done so far. So definitely improvement. He's definitely getting much better with his hands, his hand placement, his feet as well.
His balance. We want again. I still call him as we want to. And as we get closer to the game, we're gonna at the live game stream this Saturday, we're definitely gonna tell you the people we think, the numbers with the players, of who we think to look for during the game.
But definitely,
and he's one of those guys. So is Chaz Green.
Watch for it, guys. I mean, it just both sides right now. They're gonna attack him. They're gonna attack him hard. So now it's time to see, how does Chaz Green hold up? You know, how does La'el Collins hold up, and what can they do?
And the Cowboys are gonna purposely, not about attacking.
But they're purposely gonna test them in these scenarios.
We're gonna test them. Our coaches are gonna test them. Our coaches are gonna run to La'el Collins' side a lot more than usual. They're going to run to Chaz Green's side and see how he and Byron Bell and Jonathan Cooper do on the left side. So the Cowboys plan, I don't care about winning or losing. I don't care about winning or losing preseason games. I want no injuries. I want to see our guys that have to get out on the field and perform and see something out of them. We want to see that. Exactly. Those are the two most important things in preseason. Winning and losing, I couldn't give a damn. Now, let's see here. LL, NFL scared of, you're going to see, I think Jerry Jones is just, lock and loaded right now. He's ready to go to war with Zeke, and a ride or die kind of situation. Us against the world situation. Tupac. I know LL loves to play Tupac. I love Tupac. It's just me against the world. That's the way it's looking at right now with Zeke and Jerry Jones and our Cowboys.
That's right.
Let's see here. Chris Senior.
Slipping when his mom died. Can't blame him, but he's got it together.
Correct.
Respect him, Dr. Prescott.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I do respect Dak. I know he went through some tough times. He had a lot of issues in college after his mom died. Who wouldn't? After that kind of, it was his rock, his corner.
Yeah, but guys, this remarkable man was able to not only graduate with his degree, bring his school to, football levels they had never seen, and managed to really, turn things around for himself, was drafted by the Cowboys, and then had to step up in the biggest way on America's team
way, as a
in
quarterback.
The biggest spotlight of the NFL as the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, all in the span of a single second. And he's had to do it in every single spot. In high school, he started off as a backup. The starter got injured. He had to step up, and he was able to carry his team to the championship.
Watch that special fight by him.
In college, it was a similar thing. He was a backup quarterback. The starter got injured. He stepped up. Yeah, same every single time in his career.
And he stepped up as a leader
and then stepped
up. And took a team farther. Mississippi State, they never did anything, and they were ranked #1 for the first time under him.
So it just
he's a true leader.
He's a game changer.
Yeah.
He is a game changer,
like Zeke.
And he managed to see that greatness inside of him and was able to, again, like you said,
thank goodness
turn it
that
around.
We got him in the 4th round. We're lucky to get him that late. Now, Jerry Jones took the NFL to court. I know he did. It's about the Pepsi. It
goes back to the scariness of Jerry Jones.
No, and I want to say that, but going back to court, guys, if you remember that if you look at a lot of these ads, you'll see by the NFL, you won't see the Cowboys on these ads. You know why? because Jerry Jones won in court.
I remember I used to ask him this question all the time. I'm like, oh, look at this great football stuff, and look, we can get it. And I'm like, they never sell any Cowboys stuff.
Because Jerry Jones has he owns the rights to the Cowboys, and he can, to the point where he's actually, aside from the NFL,
he's almost like a separate entity outside of the NFL that he can make his own decisions.
And he won that against the NFL. Right, that's why they got, I think, whoever the NFL supports, as far as like soft drinks, the Cowboys are the opposite.
Yeah, so like
Pepsi
they support Bud Light, so I think the Cowboys are Miller Lite.
Something like that, right, guys? So,
and like AT&T Stadium, of course. I mean, I don't know what phone company
that's different. That's different. But again, it's more like what the NFL.
But they still promote AT&T and all that.
Yeah, well, that's Jerry Jones' choice, and that's a lot of these stadiums. They choose to sell the rights to the stadium to like a company name. They get paid millions of dollars for this to name their stadium. Let's say
Verizon Stadium.
Correct.
Exactly.
And then Verizon pays them all, and that's up to the owners. So that's different. Okay. But I'm talking about branding the star.
Yeah.
The logo.
So again, for example, this blanket, or this whatever, any kind of NFL, Dallas Cowboys.
There's nothing. The NFL gets very. I don't know if they get any portion out of that because of Jerry Jones winning his right. I guess the Cowboys bring in more money than anybody else in this league, and he didn't want to profit share with everybody. He wanted to do his own thing. He's a smart ass businessman, so he did beat the NFL once before. What's up, fam? Thank you, legend. We appreciate you on here. Love your channel. Love the raps and all the other extracurricular stuff you do on the channel. Let's see here. My Cowboys family, yeah, I know. PG-13 when the kids are here, but we do have some kids that are actually up this late. And again, it could be on the West Coast. It's a lot earlier. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
either way, guys,
want to try to keep it as clean as possible. Yeah, go to bed for school tomorrow.
But guys, honestly, look, when it comes to game time, I don't want to say all bets are off, but honestly, both of our kids are kind of used to it where
they've heard some slippage.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure, as far as the chat here,
there's some kids on here too. We know because they told us. Again, they just, the language thing, we don't want to, have to expose them to that if they're not used to it. But again, guys, the kids will be here on game day. Yeah. So, we're definitely going to keep it family friendly as possible. I sometimes slip, so, try not to.
Yeah, so like I said, guys, we'll do our best, but we're only human, so.
Yeah. Now, let's see here. You two answered every question I asked. Appreciate it. You two are awesome. Thank you, Chris Sr., my favorite Cowboys couple besides my wife and I. Well, we love you, too, and we really do. We love you guys being here with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Boomer Sooner. My cousin goes to the same high school Dak went to in Louisiana. Very cool. I'm sure he's a big name there. I'm sure you have all these things of Dak there. Louisiana, Mississippi, these two states are like Dak crazy. They're all Cowboy fans. They were Saints fans. Now they're Cowboy fans. So that's really cool to hear. Man, guys, loving it, man, loving it. Listen, in about 5 minutes, guys, I think we're going an hour and a half here, guys, with you guys. We appreciate it all, too.
5 minutes.
I know. Yeah, no, we got like 10 of you still on here, which we appreciate it. We kind of went through all the stuff for today. I'm just going to look it over, give a couple more minutes.
Any last minute questions, guys, let us know. We'll obviously be updating you tomorrow on how practice goes, who's playing, who's injured, all that good stuff. And, of course, any updates on the Zeke situation, although I think that with today's appeal filing, it's pretty much just kind of wait and see.
Next thing is to do is to wait to see what date the NFL is going to give Zeke to hear his appeal.
Hearing,
right, and that's going to make, and I think at that hearing is when they make, the decision that day or the next day after they hear what Zeke's going to bring to the table. Unfortunately, what I've heard is that because Zeke is bringing things that the NFL already investigated, unfortunately, that's actually not going to change their ruling. So this thing looks like it's headed for injunction court or something like that. Now, they could be cool, and Roger could say, you know what, because he sees the writing on the wall.
To get the egg off his face.
Right, he can say, guys, Zeke, I'll give you 4 games, or I'll give you 3 games. And Zeke says, hell no, they're going to court.
Yeah.
But if they give him the appeal and they say, we'll give you 4 games, he could take that and then still put the injunction on. So at least we got it from 6 to 4 or 6 to 2. Now, I think if he gets 2 games, I think he'll accept it. As long as they clarify and they apologize in some way, I think Zeke's going to demand this because it's about his name. And he wants them to make sure it's about the boob gate, as I've called it, in different places, where he pulled it down in that St. Patrick's Day parade. But I think that he definitely has a lot of leg to stand on in this case. And if it's 2 games or 1 game because of that, I could accept that. And I just hope it's not the Giants. I hope it happens week 2 or 3. I don't mind losing to the Broncos or even the Cardinals, but I'd rather beat the Giants. And I think all of us agree on that, all Cowboy fans. Let's see what else we got here.
Why do you guys not give vet backup Luke McCown a chance over Kellen Moore, who was disappointed? So I think that it's not us necessarily. One, we haven't seen enough from Luke McCown.
Give us the like. We're still on a couple more minutes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Like I said, one, I think that we haven't seen enough from McCown.
I agree.
Two, I think specifically to the Cowboys, they'd rather go, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And I think that if it comes between Kellen Moore and McCown, that at least they know what they're getting with Kellen Moore. Luke McCown is still a little bit more of a question mark and might not have the same whatever it is that they're looking for. I mean, I've really tried to justify why we still have Kellen Moore. And again, for me, it's very hard. But obviously, again, the Cowboys see something that we must not see. And I don't know. But personally, I would pick McCown over Moore, if only for the possibility of what he could do. And he has proven himself before as a good, decent backup. So, I
mean, I think because I'm going to tell you, I think it's because I think it's more because Moore knows the system. He's played in the system before. Yeah. He's played under Coach Garrett.
Like I said, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. At least they know what Kellen Moore has to offer.
From 2 years ago, when this whole thing, when Roman went down, he was out there playing at the end of the year. I said, I do not like. We should cut this guy next year. He will not be on the team next year. He was on the team next year. He's on the team again. I mean, this year, it just, I just don't know why they're banking so much on him. But I just don't see enough from him to validate him being on this team. Practice squad, maybe, but you know when it comes to quarterbacks, guys, they will take Cooper Rush off the waivers if we release him, and we probably won't get him to the practice squad. They will take Moore, even if it's the Giants, for week 1 to get our information. They will do that, so we got to keep that in mind too.
Exactly, but like I've said previously, I don't expect them to keep 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster.
That's going to be tough.
I don't expect them to keep 3 quarterbacks in general, unless obviously.
Now I will say, if McCown is, let's say he's hurt because he didn't practice today. And I want to make sure I'll be over that. That's why we're not hearing much about Luke McCown.
Sorry, I read it, Christy. Kellen Moore's Dumpster Juice.
And there's somebody that subscribes to this channel. His name is Dumpster Juice, so it's kind of funny there. Oh. So maybe Dumpster Juice is Kellen Moore on our stream.
Right. He's coming and he's.
That's funny. I like that. Let me see here. Goodell makes NFL owners money. You're right, but obviously even Jerry Jones, who actually doesn't really rely on Goodell, he's part of the owner's boss is basically Roger Goodell, and Jerry Jones is breaking from that. So it's maybe it's like somebody else said here about him Goodell losing his job because of the Zeke thing. I agree. This could be really the beginning of the end for Goodell, and it started actually at the end of the end.
I want to get paid $44 million a year to do what he does, which is apparently nothing according to him in this whole. He didn't even go to any of the interviews with Zeke. He didn't talk. He just relied on his biased investigators to give him the answer he wanted. And then, let me see, so...
Yeah, I agree. How about them Cowboys? The devil, is a bad backup. And that's the thing, is that it's hard to trust in Cooper Rush. I know we had the luck with Dak last year, but what if Dak goes down and Cooper has to go in there? I mean...
And I understand it's scary, because it's scary. It's terrifying to put a quarterback out there that you only see little flashes of.
I will say, though, that I almost feel... if by the end of this preseason, the next 3 games, Cooper Rush continues doing what he's doing, he's actually, NFC East, he's the best quarterback in preseason so far in the NFC East. Just letting you guys know, better than anybody in the Giants, anybody in the Eagles, anybody in the Redskins. And I know that the starters didn't play, except for Wentz.
Yeah, but he's still the best backup, which
out of all the teams in the NFC East. So. And again, guys, I know it's preseason, but I guarantee you're going to see Cooper Rush playing a little more than Moore against more of the. That's 3 mores in a sentence. Against more of the starters and second stringers, the better players. I think you're going to see him playing a little more, maybe over Kellen Moore. Against better competition to really test him. But I think that, when you talk about a bad backup or a question mark young guy for a couple of games, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Do you take the chance on the question mark, or do you go with the guy that at least know what he brings to the table? So, we don't necessarily blame the Cowboys for the decisions they're making. But again, now that we have Cooper Rush, which is a little bit more talent than some of the previous choices. He's more raw talent. He seems to have more raw talent than some of the previous guys that we've had the chance to grab or get or available.
And I want to touch on what Vaughn Glenn really quickly, what he said about McCown and Moore both suck as players. That's the point. McCown and Moore, McCown has been a 14-year-old backup. Yeah. 14-year backup. And 14-year-old, 14-year backup.
Really made it to a starting job.
He doesn't
have what it takes.
But he has enough. He has veteran leadership, right?
He has enough, though.
Well, he has enough
to pull through for a little bit.
We don't know. That's the thing. He hasn't been given enough of the playbook yet.
Well, maybe not for a quarterback.
But he has veteran leadership possibilities. While Moore, even though he's played for the Cowboys, see, all these guys have positives, but the negatives are so much more against these guys. Except for Cooper Rush. The negative is that he's young, he's a rookie, he's inexperienced in playing against a lot of third stringers. So those are valid points. But even with that, he looks better than Moore did when he played against third stringers. Even with that, McCown played against the same guys. He doesn't have the playbook as much. He's a veteran guy. He looked bad out there. He made some bad choices out there, even if you don't know the playbook. So, I still rather have Cooper Rush out there than those other two backups.
Larry Elliott, Jerry Jones has actually publicly stated that no way, no how, he will never, ever sign Cap.
And that's a shame because I'm on a Kaepernick. So, I would rather see Kaepernick with us than any of our backups that we have right now. And we could have put Cooper Rush as our practice squad, but now he's starting to get a name for him. So now you're going to see probably players taking a chance on him if he goes on waivers. Vaughn Glenn, 6 wideouts, 4 tight ends equals 2 quarterbacks. Even without that, and again, 4 tight ends. Look for Hannah. I'm hearing Swain is doing a lot better, and again, I'm starting to jump on that Swain train. I think
we had this discussion before, now that Rico Gathers seems like he is going to make that second tight end spot. Who do we keep as our third?
The receiving tight end, it's a difference.
Who are we going to keep as kind of our blocking tight end? So obviously Jeff Swain and James Hanna.
Yeah, they both are fighting for that. Yeah. At first we thought it was going to be Witten and them two, and then Rico maybe making practice squad, maybe getting cut. Yeah. Depending if he was going to not perform, but he's performing fantastic.
Rico is completely shown out this training camp, and
there's no way he's gonna. And in the preseason games where it counts a little more. Yeah. So you gotta get now you have he's single-handedly put Hanna and Swain on the bubble right now. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with those two guys. Keep an eye on them in the next preseason game. Let's see here. So Cooper Rush might be 5th best quarterback at NFC East. How about them Cowboys? Let me see. Oh yeah, Moore knows the offense and Dak. True, and that's why I'm afraid of letting Moore go because you can bet that the Giants are going to pick him up for that first game.
And again, can we risk it? Can we risk it?
I mean, I don't know if we can risk that. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
But again, we shouldn't be making our roster decisions completely based on that. We have to.
And also, guys, and also one other thing that we always forget with these suspensions, possible injuries is going to make more room on our roster for our 53-man roster. So you might be able to keep that extra quarterback for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, maybe. Yeah. That we're gonna have 4 running backs out there probably, plus Zeke, who is if he's suspended, he won't be on the 53 technically. So think about that, guys, as well. There's gonna be a lot of openings there, extra openings in just the regular 53. But it is a close call to have 3 quarterbacks, 4 tight ends, 6 receivers, 4 running backs, 5 running backs actually with Zeke. Even cutting them down, it's gonna be. We need a couple extra linemen too, guys. Looney, Emmett Cleary is one of those bubble guys. I don't like him, but the Cowboys like him for some reason. We've got Kadeem Henderson or something like that. He's making a little push. Cooper, Bell. I mean, these guys, Chaz Green. We've got a lot, these aren't even our starters. We just talked about one spot on our starting lineup, and we just named 5 guys, offensive linemen that we're not gonna be able to keep them all. So let's see here. Leroy Elliott, McCown will be fine. We'll see this week if McCown will be fine. I'll guarantee he'll play some. But I hope to see Cooper Rush play a lot more. Yeah. We've got to see him play. Maybe the Cowboys are trying to just stash him a little bit. Maybe they might play him less, pull him back so the league doesn't see, the Cooper Rush continuously playing fantastic out there. As we wrap this up, the last couple of questions.
Let's see. The Giants can pick him up when they want. He isn't too good. It's not about talent.
It's not about talent. It's about what he knows.
Our playbook.
Moore knows what we can do. He knows our playbook. He will tell the Giants, oh, when Dak does this, or when the lineup comes out like this is what we've been practicing all training camp.
Exactly.
It's a bad. Maybe after week 1, we release more. It wouldn't be as bad. Let the Redskins and Eagles get him. We'll change our game plan by then. But some of it, it would change. But not that first game. We cannot risk it. And that's where we're at right now with Moore. Now maybe we keep Moore for 2 weeks with Cooper Rush and Moore, because we'll have, when DeMontre Moore comes back, we take DeMontre Moore on our team and release Kellen Moore. So that could be a possibility, and we don't care about that, about him telling, at that point, 5 or 6 weeks later, telling the Eagles what we're doing, or the Redskins what we're doing. I want to make sure they don't tell the Giants what we're going to start off the season doing. So that's more of a danger right there. Now, the Giants have Josh Johnson and Geno Smith a backup. Yeah, we already discussed why. 7 offensive linemen. The thing is that we'll have, I think Skipper is not going to make the starting squad, the 53, because there's too many spots open that we need. But I think Skipper will definitely go through waivers. and will definitely land on our practice squad for sure. He's a mad guy. He's a mean guy out there, and we want to see that kind of stuff. He might end up being the right tackle and moving Collins to the guard position if Chaz Green keeps getting injured, or if Bell and Cooper cannot take over for Green. These are things that might work out in the future. So Skipper might produce that in the future. It might be that way in midseason.
Exactly.
We'll see.
He just hasn't quite gotten there yet.
Right.
But he definitely has that potential.
Yeah, so, it's a lot of things going on, guys. There's 3.5 weeks, 3 more weeks of preseason, training camp. A lot of things, suspensions, injuries could happen. A lot of things can happen. Yeah. So, as always, we don't know. We can't predict everything, but we do want to watch every moment of the training camp as much as possible. Watch every moment, for sure, of the preseason games, and just see what happens with all these suspensions and injuries and so on. Just keep tabs on these things as the preseason and training camp goes on. And when the regular season starts, you can guarantee it, guys, we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready. Feel good about this Cowboys team.
And you guys are going to be ready as well, because we'll be giving you guys our thoughts, our views, our opinions. And remember, we try to base them, obviously, as much as we can on real facts, the things we actually see these guys doing out there, the things we know that they've done before. So, we try to do it as non-biased as possible, but we all know the Cowboys are the best team, so, let's not lie.
So, just want to say, guys, if we release Cooper, what happens is that if we release him, he goes right to the waivers. They get 2 days on waivers. Anybody can pick him up but the Cowboys. And then if he clears waivers, then we can pick him back up on the practice squad. Once he's on the practice squad, he cannot be taken off the practice squad by another team. We officially have him for the season unless we release him off the practice squad. If you remember last year, I think it was Darius Jackson or Jackson, number 34, I think it was our running back. He was a rookie. We released him. And on the last day of the waiver, I think the Rams claimed him. And so we really wanted him last season to make the team on our practice squad. We were very disappointed that he did not get on there. We hope so. Someone like Cooper Rush, when you have a quarterback, that's even more of something. If you find a quarterback that can even produce,
it's
too valuable.
You can't risk it because anybody is willing to take a chance on a quarterback that might pan out.
And exactly. So quarterbacks, linemen, very, very, very. The first ones that are picked up off the cut list is usually a quarterback or offensive lineman, and every team goes for them first. So that's why we want to keep as many in our 53 as we can. And if someone wants to pick up Emmett Cleary, go for it, in my opinion. Now,
Cowboys legend, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good night, Cowboys legend, LL. Thank you. We'll see you on the live streams again.
And sure. I think, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Make sure, any other questions, any other comments, save them for tomorrow.
Post them at the bottom. Once
let us know in the comment section down below. We are getting back to your comments as soon as we get the chance.
Yeah, the fantasy football. Go ahead.
So check out our link in the description down below to join our fantasy football league. It is first come, first serve.
20 teams for fun. Hopefully we have about 8 or 9 spots taken, or 7 or 8 spots taken. Just join us if you'd like. It'll be actually trash talking here, not as much, but trash talking in the fantasy league, much more.
Maybe a little more.
But go ahead. No, and then there's also the likes on our video.
Of course. So please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell down below so you don't miss any notifications on when we go live or when we post any videos, guys.
Right. We've been taking a break on the videos because of the late practices. Probably do a little more of that, especially before the season starts. We'll have a couple videos analyzing all the teams in the NFC East, kind of like after the preseason. So we give you a more updated, a better breakdown of the teams in the East, in the NFC East. And, so we'll definitely do that. Definitely hit like. And if you want to go back, watch some of our older videos, you see a lot of the things we've said now and that you guys are saying now. We said this at the beginning of the season.
We did post Cowboy prediction, our Eagle prediction, Giant, and Redskin prediction videos before the preseason started, just to give you guys our general thoughts on how we thought the season was going to go.
There's obviously going to be a lot of changes from that until the season starts on all the teams, including ours. But I want to say Cowboys legend, we are attending games. We were going to do the Falcons game.
Yeah. And then we saw the ticket prices.
And also our kids play flag football. It's going to be kind of hard to do that. If they do it this season, it's kind of up in the air. So we didn't want to risk it. Just wasn't worth the money compared to the stuff that we do with our kids and our family. That's why we're a Cowboys family, because we actually consider you guys our Cowboy family as well, but along to experience these things with us as family friendly as possible during the games, because that's what it's about, guys. We are Cowboy fans, all of us on here. That of course there's other fans on here too, but us Cowboy fans, we know how it is. We love our Cowboys. It's a special thing when you're a Cowboy fan. So remember to like our videos. Hit the like button now if you haven't already. Hit the like video on older videos if you like them, because we have a lot. We do it daily, guys. So we have like 45 videos out there. You can check them out, and we'll continue to do this every day. And again, guys, hit subscribe if you already have not. I'm sure all of you guys that are here now, there's like 9 or 10 of you guys. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification if you haven't. Yeah. So. And the most important thing of all is Go Cowboys, baby! Yeah!
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate everything, guys. The questions.
Cowboys Legend, shoot us a message.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works, but yeah, shoot us a message. We'll get to you. He's on the handles, all that technical stuff. So
yeah, I'll get you. I mean, you can get your clip if you like. I know there's ways of getting that on your own. You know, if you want to, that's awesome, man. Go for it. Just put us in a good light.
Yes, don't make me look ugly, please. It's the internet.
You can't look ugly, baby.
Aw.
Sorry, guys.
He's obligated to say that, but it's okay. I love him anyway.
What can I say?
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Cowboys!
Go Cowboys!
Forever.